started at Deloitte in August, and I'm in human capital as an analyst. My presentation is going to be how to lose a millennial in 4 ways in just a second. So, what is a millennial? I've brought you guys a few of my favorite quotes on being a millennial here. DeloitteX. So here's one of the favorites. Are millennials lazy, entitled, narcissists, addicted to social media? Why is this the quitting generation? Me, me, me. Why are millennials immature, entitled, and the best hire? And my favorite one, New York Times finds millennials lazy, parentheses, again. That was a top story. Well, I'm Jaime Cameron, and I am a millennial, and I don't think that we're lazy or entitled, although the amount of selfies I took after my haircut this morning explained the narcissistic. So who are we really? We're 92 million individuals between the age of 15 and 35, and 42% of us identify as other than non-Hispanic white. We are the most diverse workforce you've ever seen. And here's the big one. We're going to be 85% of Deloitte Consulting by 2020. It's in less than 5 years. So it's really important that you recognize that we are your analysts, your consultants, oftentimes your leaders, and the focus of your recruiting strategies. We can be the company's greatest asset, but this is how to lose a millennial in 4 ways. The first way is to overstructure. Make anything more formal than it has to be, and you'll send your millennials running. For example, make us wear a suit. I remember buying my first suit and looking at the stitched-in shoulder pads and thinking, like, not me, I'm too young, this is like a relic out of my parents' past. The truth is, it's lost a lot of its significance. While there's still appropriate environments to wear a suit, we see leaders succeeding in jeans. These are the people we want to work for, and these are our role models. The next way you could really lose a millennial with overstructuring is to create PowerPoints like this. No, we really prefer PowerPoints that look like this. Innovate, just do it. These are the messages that millennials really buy into. But the most important way you can lose a millennial due to overstructuring is making an over-planned networking event. We are the social network, and our generation redefined social media. 53% of us are already using social media to connect to our coworkers, and 43% use it to answer work-related questions. Sounds a lot like networking, right? Talking to your colleagues, answering questions. But we really prefer networking that happens in an offhand way. So for example, our analyst group networks using a messaging app called GroupMe. We use it to occasionally share resources and always share where Friday happy hours are. It's the spontaneity that brings us together. We millennials network on our own time without any prompting or encouraging. We just don't need the same structure to succeed in an organization. If you really want to lose a millennial, try excluding. 49% of all employees accept that diversity and inclusion is important. And yet when going through my research and looking for the kind of materials we had, I came upon this quote. Frame diversity and inclusion as a means to a business outcome, not a moral or compliance matter. Frame. So if we pretend that diversity has a business outcome, then everyone's going to buy in? Is that what that's saying? I think it's very different than how millennials view diversity. I fundamentally believe that diversity and inclusion is necessary for any kind of positive business outcome. Let me break it down. A positive business outcome would be improving the engagement of your employees, their commitment to their work, and making full use of their skill set, right? While 28% of millennials report that their organizations are not making full use of their skill set. How can we explain this? I'm going to borrow a great concept for our Chief Inclusion Officer, Christy Smith. The idea is covering. It means that we spend time that we'd otherwise be using towards energy to our work or using our full skill set, covering up parts of ourselves we think that we can't bring to the office. How much time do you spend adjusting who you are to fit who you think you need to be at work? And how much time are you actually spending changing from the person you are around your family, your friends, your loved ones, and that person That's the analyst or the consultant that you have to walk in and be. The idea is that if we can uncover, we'll remove this excess energy and be able to use all the skills. We millennials are the creators of the buddy icon, the profile, the avatar, and we like bringing our identities with us wherever we go. So it's a call to begin the process of uncovering or stripping back that need to be anyone else than who you are. It's not asking for TMI, it's asking for a space to be your authentic self. If you want to cut your millennial demographic really quickly, try treating diversity and inclusion as an obligation and sapping our creative energy with the need to try and be someone we're not. The third way you can lose a millennial is to impose unnecessary limits. We self-identify as having a strong entrepreneurial spirit, not to be confused with ego, but we like these opportunities to go out and pursue our passions outside of the workplace. Pigeonhole us, and you'll send us running for the hills. That's not saying we all want to be entrepreneurs, actually. About 1 in 10 of us would do that as their next career. It looks more like this. Tech companies that we really admire give young employees a month or 2 months to do anything they want. Take a vacation, volunteer abroad, work at a startup, anything. And yeah, it sounds like giving a really big party to a bunch of young kids, but it works because we bring our skills back. So in the time between my internship with Deloitte and returning full-time, I was able to become a yoga teacher. That was my dream, okay? And now I'm able to contribute back through the Chicago Consulting Office Wellness Initiative by teaching the Friday classes in the office. Discourage us from using our time here, our PRD, or our time off in a way that's stimulating and creative, and you'll sap that internal fuel for growth and innovation. The last and fastest way to lose a millennial is to overemphasize the bottom line. So yes, we want things to be informal. We want to bring our full selves to work, and we want these opportunities to explore new ideas. But what's really important is that we can take all those things and use that to make an impact. 6 out of 10 of us chose Deloitte because we think we can do that here. Yet, although businesses consistently overperform our expectations of generating profit, they're underperforming our expectations of improving society or enhancing employee livelihoods. What's important isn't that we don't need to stress the bottom line. We're going to have to sell work one day when we're partners, and we can't do it via Snapchat, though I tried. What's important is that impact and profit are mutually exclusive. So let me tell you my story. I can really vividly remember my first day as an intern and like coming in like wide-eyed and so excited. I'm gonna make an impact here. I've landed this amazing internship as a college student. And you can imagine my surprise when I was put on an SAP project in a warehouse with no windows in the middle of nowhere, Michigan. I'm from Michigan, guys. This is nowhere, Michigan, okay? So the job that I had in front of me was to create a training program for inspector packers. These are the guys that take boxes off the trucks as they come to into the warehouse, pack them away, maybe a week later, build them into a cube, put them back onto the truck. That's an inspector packer's job. I didn't really realize what impact was until the first training session when we told them to click login. And somebody picked up their mouse and they put it on the screen and tried to click login. And it's in the moment that you realize that training wasn't about all the PowerPoints and the Word documents and the scheduling that I'd been creating, but it was about giving another human being the skills to adapt to a technologically advancing world. As soon as I saw it, I knew what I needed to do. So in the end, we made these awesome process learning posters, and I was able to leverage some of the user-centered design things I was interested in college to make these job aids that, instead of following SAP transaction by transaction, how we tend to look at it, it followed an inspector packer's job the way they visualize it. Step 1, take the box off. Step 2, set the box down here. And they were able to use the SAP and our RF guns with this poster. What I learned is this: impact isn't always saving the environment, it's seeing how your work touches other people and using your unique skill set to improve the world around you, even in the smallest ways. So if I have to summarize all the ways you can really lose your millennials, it's this. You're going to lose our hearts and minds if you prevent us from being our whole, unfragmented selves. For us, this whole idea of a work-life balance binary is very obsolete. We aren't either informal or formal, diverse or not diverse, passionate or competent, impactful or profitable, hard workers or great Snapchatters. We're a little bit of it all. And so here's my challenge I want to end with. To those of you tasked with managing millennials, how can you remove some of the constraints that allow us to find meaning in our work and create the kind of innovation that drives Deloitte past 2020? I challenge you to actually reach out to somebody and try and find that attribute about themselves that they feel like they have to cover and give them a suggestion on how to use it. As an analyst, I can say that the smallest nudge from someone you respect can really get things moving. And to the most of you, all the millennials here, the challenge is this: how can we make our careers a testament or proof of the fact that striving for impact can be successful? And when you come up against these differences in the workplace of different working styles or different goals, how can you articulate that in a way that keeps that going for the future? So I challenge you to dig back into that little box of passions that you probably had in high school or college, wherever it was, bring one out and just vocalize it to one person. With our strength in numbers, we have the ability to start the uncovering process from the bottom. Thank you.